right now we have some awards to give out and some closing remarks. And Dr. Allison Wilson is going to be emceeing our awards, giving some remarks. So I'm going to give her a quick introduction and then turn it over to her. So Dr. Alyson Wilson is the Associate Vice Chancellor for the National Security and Special Research Initiatives at North Carolina State University. She's also a professor in the Department of Statistics and the principal investigator for the Laboratory for Analytic Sciences. Sorry. Allison is a longtime friend of Dataworks, has done a lot for the workshop over the past however many years, and we're happy to have you here. So thank you, Allison. I'll turn it over to you.
So thank you, Kelly. So the first thing I'm going to do is just a reminder. So please don't forget to go to the Dataworks website and fill out the survey. If you enjoyed this year, give us some information on what was good, and if there was something you'd like to see done better, let us know that as well. So please do remember to take the survey. As Kelly said this morning, it's hard to miss. Big button right at the top of the page. So. Second thing I'd like to do is I'd like to make a few acknowledgments. There were 4 sponsors for the conference this year. So the first was IDA. And if you're like me, this might be your first workshop or conference since COVID. And it's hard for me to imagine a better conference than the one we just had. Terrific technical program, beautiful facilities, incredibly well organized. So let's give a round of applause to IDA for hosting us. And we also want to acknowledge support from 3 other organizations. So from DOT&E, and you saw the director this morning in his plenary talk, and also from NASA, and from the American Statistical Association. So again, let's thank them as well. Okay, so this is going to be a little cheesy, but I think I'm going to do this anyway. So the next thing I'd like to do is I would like to ask everyone who's still here, who gave a talk or served on a panel or gave a poster or taught a class, could all of you all stand up? And let's acknowledge all of these people who provided the fabulous content we saw over the last 3 days. So thank you very much. And now the next thing I'm going to do is for the folks who were part of the co-chair committee or on the technical program committee, could you all please stand as well to be recognized? So just a few left, but these are the folks who actually have spent a lot of the last year working on putting together the program that you saw, and that excellent program that we had that had many options at every phase of the workshop. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make a special acknowledgement for the 2 people who really led that co-chair committee, who are Rebecca Medlin and Kelly Avery. And so, yeah. So, Kelly's saying, oh, I had lots of help. But at the end of the day, Kelly and Rebecca are the folks who led what we did. And, again, think about what I said a minute ago. This is the first thing you've done post-COVID, so think about all the planning that they had to do this in a new facility, to do this during COVID, to stand it up as hybrid. And, everything that has felt so seamless for us over the last few days, these guys have worked like crazy to put together. So, again, we really appreciate it. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start presenting some awards. And the first awards that we're going to do are for our student poster winners. So the committee that selected the winners in the student poster competition had Joe Warfield, Jim Warner, Buck Tomey, and Victoria Girardi. And they actually took a look at all the posters, and I'm going to invite Joe Warfield up to actually make the presentations. So Joe, if you could join us, please. So I'd like to mention that the student posters actually come with cash awards, and these awards are provided by the American Statistical Association section on defense and national security. So if any of you all are statisticians who work in defense and aren't members yet of SDNS, this is my plug. Take a look.
Yeah, I did. I think I saw some pamphlets out there for ASA, so make sure you grab one. I wanted to thank everyone again for participating in the speed talks and the poster sessions. I know it was a bit of a challenge with the 8-minute format, but I thought everyone did a great job, and they were really well received. We had difficult challenge picking just 3 winners, but we did. So let's go through it. And the first winner, or third place, I believe she had to leave, but it was Anna Vinage for utilizing machine learning models to predict success in special ops assessment. Okay, I'll put it on this. There you go. Thank you. Yep. The second place goes to Brittany Fisher for optimal design in multiple response distributions. All right. We need one photo for the SDNS website, so all right, and our first place goes to Taka Iguchi for profile monitoring via eigenvector perturbation. All right. There you go. And one photo. What, don't forget. Show them. Thank you. All right. Let's thank all our speakers again that participated.
Great. Thank you, Joe. So the next thing that we are going to present is we are going to present the Dataworks Distinguished Leadership Awards. These are going to be presented by Pete Parker from the NASA Langley Research Center and Laura Freeman from the National Security Institute at Virginia Tech.
These are some photographs from past meetings. And as Allison just said, this is a new award that we are instituting this year. You know, as Allison, congratulated everybody that organized this meeting, and certainly to be organized is a lot of work. But a sustained leadership support in our organizations that sponsor this is absolutely vital to the success of this meeting. And so this award, seeks to point out individuals who have contributed over a long, sustained period of time consistently, and much more beyond than just the individual meetings like of today. This year we have 2 recipients, and Laura is going to present the first one.
All right, so the first recipient of the first annual Distinguished Leadership Award actually is not able to join us today, but we were able to do a presentation earlier at Bob Sewell's retirement party. So I'm happy to announce that we were able to award Bob Sewell as one of our first 2 recipients of the Distinguished Leadership Award. And in that, we wanted to recognize him for his sustained support of the workshop. Not only in terms of financial resources, which he did provide. He provides time for people like Kelly and Rebecca to be able to organize these things so they're not doing it in the middle of the night, although they might be doing it somewhat in the middle of the night, but theoretically during working hours at times. And so that is a really important part, I think, for having a thriving workshop, is having the dedicated time for people to support. But more than that, he provided the kind of emotional and leadership support to say this is important and what you're doing is important, which keeps people motivated. And so you can see some great pictures here from when we presented the award. Many of you may have fond memories of Dave Duma's recaps of the conferences over the years. He gave a nice recap of how dedicated this audience is, and seeing everyone here still today for the closing session and hanging out for Bayesian talks at 4:30 in the afternoon. You guys are the best, most dedicated audience, and Dave really hit on that in the presentation to Bob, and then Bob receiving the award there. So it was actually in this room here, so feel like you almost teleported. It was a dry run for this. And so I'm happy to announce that Bob Sewell was one of the first recipients of our Distinguished Leadership Award. So please join me he's actually traveling the country right now, visiting every national park. He's got a website going. It's pretty cool. If you want some kind of tips on visiting every national park, follow Bob Sewell. But please join me in thanking him with applause, maybe loud enough that he hears us out in like Colorado or wherever he is. And I'd like to turn it over to Pete.
Excellent. And I'm very happy for Bob. A funny story is Bob was there when we got the mandate to do this every year, if you remember that. And it was planned to be every other year, and there was this, Bob smirked when they said, oh, this was so successful, we'll do it every year. So our second recipient is Alan Kilgore. Alan is joining us virtually. I don't know if we can bring him up. There he is, on vacation. And Alan is the director of the research directorate at NASA Langley Research Center. Alan was an early and enthusiastic supporter of Dataworks. And, when I thought about what to say, you heard yesterday morning the talk about the tone at the top and how important that was. But it's not just what leaders say, it's what they do. And Alan has really put a lot of action behind his support. And I'm going to give two examples of that. One, about 4 years ago, Alan initiated and annually supports a scholarship for early career employees at NASA Langley to attend Dataworks. And I think there's about 7 of them here this year. That is something that is a selective, competitive process. And I think this is the 4th year, I think we counted up probably, that's been done. In addition, Alan has supported the interagency agreement. So there's an interagency statistical engineering agreement between NASA and the Director of Operational Test and Evaluation. And Alan has been a resilient and participatory supporter of that agreement, particularly the renewal that just happened recently. And in that agreement, this meeting is one of the elements as part of our agreement. So he, I would say he consistently sets the tone at the top, as you heard yesterday in the keynote, but along with that, he puts action behind it and resources. So I'm very happy to present this to you, Alan. And I don't know if I can do this virtually. Let's see. Here we go. I'm giving it to you virtually.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you very much.
We're glad you could dial in with us.
Well, I'm actually out, I'm not doing national parks, but doing all the state parks
Oh, wow, that's great.
in the state of Virginia.
Great. All right.
So thank you very, very much.
All right, thank you. And that's it.
And so with that, I would like to close this year's Dataworks conference. I hope that all of you all will consider joining us again next year. And let's have one more round of applause for a really terrific conference.